with international consultants.
Now, let me just respond to that.
No,
we don't want a question.
No, yeah, you asked me a question. Let me respond to that. You know, public participation is ingrained in our constitution. Yeah, you've heard me say severally on this show today that we involve all stakeholders. Now, the Member of Parliament of Kamkunji will know every year during the budget making session, we call the members of parliament. They don't come.
Once a year.
When we are looking for, but all these things are done through a budget framework. So if you had come to our budget and he has not come once,
question answered.
For 4 years.
Question answered.
Yeah?
You
no,
not be participating.
There is no possibility.
We need to move on to the next story now.
As we wrap up.
Yes.
And I take offense when my brother, the deputy governor, says that this is not pedestrian discussion. And I can tell you for a fact it is not. It is serious business, and that is the reason why we are discussing it on national TV. Now, when he is offended at me because the roundabout thing did not work and they paid consultants, it's not my problem. You don't pay for... And by the way, I'll find out how much people are paid to do that work. It is a lot of money. The guys who came up with that story that removed the roundabouts, blocked the roundabouts. It is a trial and error process. Now, my apologies if I don't buy the idea that there is traffic. Okay, what do? Terminate somewhere, buy more buses to create more traffic. Then now, so I don't know whether it is a business idea for somebody to bring in now buses and kill the matatu industry. My apologies if I don't buy that story. The problem that we have is traffic. Yes. There are this many 30,000 matatus. Then now you want to, so what are you doing? Okay, let's terminate them somewhere based on consultants who have told us and buy more buses to carry people. You know,
but nobody said that.
Obviously you've not been listening. No, where are these buses? Where are these buses coming from?
Why can't you follow
the buses that you're talking about? Where now it will terminate somewhere, buses with capacity will come in. Where are they coming from?
You talk about termination. We said all these centers are parking centers. And please listen to me very carefully, because I need you to understand this as somebody in the industry. Yeah. Then you have end-to-end, city-to-city routing. Right now, people come from Eastlands, from Westlands, from Upcountry, from Mombasa Road, all the way into the city. It congests the city. When it congests the city, it chokes our economy. When it chokes our economy, youth don't get jobs.
What is the solution?
So what you do is you have routing from Dandora all the way to Kawangware. And we have gotten on the 9 corridors. We have identified all of those routes, both for our train system and for our bus system, because we have 9 big traffic corridors. And you start on one side of the city all the way to the end. Your job is to pick and to drop. Yeah, we are trying to get away from you coming into the city and parking in the city the whole day. No, because you're not listening, Brian. You're not listening.
Wrap it up for us, because at least you're not from Nairobi. Do you think the solution, you have it, or as you said, probably we need to...
No, the solution is with Peter Kenneth. Yes. I can tell you the solution, and probably the solution is with Peter Kenneth.
I know, but Jonathan Mweke will beg to differ with that, but let's discuss Peter Kenneth now. Now, the former Gatanga Member of Parliament and 2013 presidential candidate has hinted that he will run for the Nairobi gubernatorial seat in next year's general election. Kenneth also says he will support President Kenyatta's re-election joins a crowded field where at least 5 other Jubilee politicians have lined up to dislodge Governor Evans Kidero. And as Francis Gashuri reports, Kenneth is also believed to be positioning himself to succeed President Kenyatta in his Mount Kenya region after 2017.
Former Gatanga lawmaker Peter Kenneth's political fortunes took a stumble in 2013 when he unsuccessfully sought the country's top job on a Kenyan National Congress ticket. But after intense negotiations and political calculations, Kenneth is making a strategic comeback 288 days to the general election.
This time round, I will not be running for presidency. I've been approached by 1 or 2, 3 counties, including Nairobi.
Among the counties he claims was scrambling for his leadership are Murang'a, Nakuru and Nairobi. But for Kenneth, who finished a distant 4th with 72,786 votes in the 2013 presidential race, Nairobi seems the obvious destination with the governor's seat on the cards.
I schooled in this area. I've grown up in Nairobi. I've grown up in Bahati. So it really doesn't matter. I think a Kenyan can run anywhere, can contest anywhere. as long as they have good policies and good ideals to keep the people of that particular area in a happy manner in terms of development.
The choice of a venue where he made a political statement on his future endeavors was apt. He had attended the 69th anniversary of St. Teresa's Catholic Parish in Eastleigh, accompanied by Jubilee Party County Assembly members who let the cat out of the bag on the political card that was being played in next year's city politics.
We are in really mess, we are in trouble, and we would really like his leadership to come and rescue the people of Nairobi.
I'm one of the people pleading to PK to come to Nairobi. We want to go through a successive surgery, and he's the best surgeon so far.
But the bigger picture is the scramble for President Uhuru Kenyatta's political constituency once he exits the stage after next year's polls. Kennedy is keen on inheriting the vote-rich political base, and observers say the Nairobi governor's seat was a stepping stone for a higher political office.
Being in politics for a day is a very, very big thing. I think it would be, in my view, be wrong to start assuming 2022 or to start thinking of 2022 in 2016.
Peter Kenneth's entry into city politics brings to 5 the number of aspirants eyeing the Jubilee Party ticket. Nairobi Senator Mike Sonko, Water Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa, lawmakers Dennis Waweru and Johnson Sakaja, as well as former Starehe Member of Parliament Margaret Wanjiru, are jostling to fly the Jubilee flag next year. Incumbent Dr. Evans Kidero is keen on defending his seat on a court ticket, while Miguna will be contesting as an independent candidate. While Sakaja has welcomed Kenneth's plunge into the race, he has challenged him to dissolve his KNC party and join the Jubilee Party. Sonko, on the other hand, urging the former Gatanga lawmaker to prepare for joint nominations in the Jubilee Party. The Nairobi governor's race is set to be a vicious contest between Jubilee and CORD, as each of the country's 2 main political players seek to control the capital city's politics. The entry of Peter Kenneth into the fray compounding the matter for Jubilee Party as it seeks to unveil its flag bearer to face off with CORD Dr. Evans Kidero in August next year. Francis Gashuri, Public First News.
Yes, indeed, and the former Member of Parliament for Gatanga made that announcement in Eastleigh, which is in Nairobi, leading to speculation that it's in Mathare. But they said Eastleigh and Mathare more or less the same. Why are you disowning?
No, St. Teresa Girls Secondary School is in Mathare.
Yes, but leading to speculation that he could be eyeing the Nairobi seat. But Murang'a has also been mentioned there, and we have a Member of Parliament for Kiharu. Do you think you're losing out to Nairobi because Peter Kenneth could also run for governor of Murang'a?
No, it's a fact that he wants to vie for Nairobi position.
It is a fact. Yes, he says the 3 that have approached him, he didn't come out as a matter of fact and said it's Nairobi.
Well, I think it's just an issue of strategy. I see in politics we have a saying that people must never see you coming; they should see you there. Yeah. So I think it's just a political strategy to keep his political enemies guessing, so that at the opportune time he's going to do the announcement. But be that as it may, from where I sit, I'm very happy, and for several reasons. Number one, we, the people of Murang'a, since Matiba exited the political stage, we have always been looking for a leader who is going to galvanize us. And to me, I think the best bet for now is Peter Kenneth. And to that extent, as a person from Murang'a, and having what we call primordial reasons, I have to support his political ambitions. Number two, going forward, we feel, the people of Murang'a, that the people of Kiambu, they have had their share at the big position. The people of Nyeri also have had their share at the big position. We, the people of Murang'a, we are the cradle land of the Kikuyu people. We also have, in terms of population, we are also the biggest Kikuyu block, apart from Kiambu, which is strictly not a Kikuyu region. So we have always had this notion that we'd want one of our sons to go up. And in Peter Kenneth,
are you therefore saying that since Kiambu has had the president, Nyeri has had the president, Peter Kenneth should run for president?
No. From where I sit as a person who belongs to the Jubilee coalition, our point is we must support Mr. Ruto to ascend to the position. I belong to that school of thought. But then again, there's the issue of who is going to deputize him. And so to me, I'm looking for a politician who has that capability of deputizing him. We, the people of Murang'a, when we see Peter Kenneth, personally I see a good material, to reach that stage. And again, he is not really coming to reflect or even to represent the Kikuyu or even the people of Murang'a. He is a person who is acceptable. He is not tribal, he is not ethnic, and therefore even a Luo or even a Costarian see him as a good person, notwithstanding his tribal affiliations. But also, even without looking from those primordial reasons, you look from an objective point of view. Nairobi needs a person who is going to make it work. Right now we are discussing the problems of transportation. We have even a problem of garbage collection. We have even other key issues like public housing. I think Nairobi is the only city in the world where we don't have strong public housing schemes, and therefore you find poor people living in slums. It's the city which is not well planned in terms of even zoning. We don't have a good zoning plan, and therefore I would want a situation where we have a person who has good character and demonstrated record of achievement. And I think, to the best of my knowledge, Peter Kenneth represents that. And finally, from Jubilee, we would want a person who is going to deliver that seat. When you look at our voting pattern here in Nairobi, it's quite tribal. When you look at those tribal arithmetic, CORD appears to have some advantage. Last elections, they defeated us, both the presidential seat and the gubernatorial seat, with about 40 or 50,000. And probably we have always felt the reason why we lost about 50,000 is because we have some Nairobians, the so-called Samelites, who vote on issues, which is good. And they appear to have gravitated towards opposition. So who do we front so that we're able to get that 50,000 to come to us? This guy called Kidero was touting his record as a person who had managed some company in Western Kenya, that is Mumias. So when we have another person who has good record of public management of resources, who can be able probably to get the 50,000 and tilt in our favor, then that shows most likely we shall win that seat. And he represents.
I think the most the one statement that I think I've taken from you is Peter Kenneth for Deputy President come 2022.
For me, anyone from Murang'a going up, I will always support him for primordial.
But Brian Weke, do you think this is a solution for Nairobi?
First of all, let me say this. Peter Kenneth has the chip, has the character, has the demeanor. And, you know, people might not know, but this guy grew up where I grew up in Bahati. He's a guy who grew up from very humble beginnings. His story can actually sell to the Nairobians, if told well. He has struggled to be where he is, and this is a very interesting character who has come into Nairobi politics. And I want to urge the people who are running for this seat because he is able to have the traction. He is able to pull serious razzmatazz and PR stands. You know, all these Jubilee candidates who have been running for this position, nobody has been able to. Many started, the candidature failed in the process. So I think it's quite an interesting character, and I think I would urge him, if he were to win this Nairobi politics, then he has to have that traction. He really has to have that drive and pomp, and so that he's being seen as the automatic candidate. You know, when he says that he's consulting, I can tell you for a fact that he's not consulting. He's coming to run for Nairobi. On Saturday, he met 6 sitting members of parliament at a hotel
for Nairobi.
Were
you part of that meeting?
I don't know, but I want to come back. I want to come back to other serious national issues. When you hear Irongo Kangata say that within the Central Fork, it is only the Murang'a folk that has not been able to take over leadership and the mantle for the Kikuyu community. First key thing, you know that majority of Kikuyus who are in Nairobi are actually from Murang'a. You did know that, eh?
No, I know. I know.
Number 2, again, his candidature would be fought heavily by certain people within Jubilee. One, because again, I've already had discussions in Rift Valley, saying, have you guys been lying to us? Because, you know, they had touted Ruto as the next candidate. Now, when they see re-emergence of Peter Kenneth as a candidate in Nairobi, then there are jitters from Rift Valley. So I would advise him to sit down with Ruto, because if his candidature is fought by Ruto, then definitely he will not go anywhere. So he has to sit down with Ruto so that he shows that he does not possess any ambitions that would hamper Ruto's candidature in 2022. He can only be a deputy. I think that would really help him a lot. Because again, if he's seen by the Rift Valley folk to be a serious threat to Ruto, then it is a huge problem for his candidature.
Bwana Mweke, now we've seen quite a number of Jubilee candidates.
Yes.
CS Eugene Wamalwa,
yes.
David Waweru, Sakaja, Sonko,
yes.
Margaret Wanjiru, now Peter Kenneth. Do you think now this is a real threat to your ticket beyond Governor Kidero?
Well, we've welcomed, you know, Sonko was the first one to announce maybe 3 years ago, as soon as we got into office, that he wanted to be the governor of Nairobi. And we welcomed him to the race. And everyone successfully, we welcomed into the race. Actually, I joke with my friend Yusuf Hassan that every week a new Jubilee candidate announces that they want to run for governor of Nairobi. So we welcome Peter Kenneth into the race. But a few things worry me about this conversation. Number one, Irungu Kang'ata speaks about we the people of Murang'a. You know, he speaks about Kiambu. He speaks about Nyeri. This is Nairobi. Nairobi is somewhere where 42 tribes live together in harmony. When you start hearing that it must be somebody from Murang'a, from one community, it worries me very seriously, and it brings a very big risk at all the work Dr. Kidero has done to put all the tribes in Nairobi living together. You see, you notice nowadays there's no street fights. Gangs have gone down. You don't hear of Kamjesh or Superpower in Isili anymore, or the Mungiki in Nairobi, because we've put all these communities together. I mean, our cabinet has somebody from Coast, it has someone from Kikuyu land, it has somebody from Turukana. Yeah. So when I hear somebody coming to say that we want because he's from Murang'a, it worries me deeply, and I urge Nairobians just to make sure that we don't get taken so far behind from what we've been able to achieve in three years by bringing all these communities together. Number two, it's very interesting that Peter Kenneth was able to launch his campaign in Kamkunji, where he grew up, and I saw the member of parliament, member of National Assembly, not national, of County Assembly, Ado, who's a member of Isili North. Now, interestingly, in Kamkunji, we've cleaned up Isili completely. The Isili business community, which controls Kamkunji politics, has forced that member of County Assembly who was saying we've done nothing to come to our office to tell us thank you for lighting up Isili, improving security. Mheshimiwa here will tell you Superpower, the gang that was there, is no longer there, because in Nairobi we've increased the lighting from 20,000 that we found to 55,000. So just think about this. 53 years of independence, 20,000 street lights. 3 years of Dr. Kidero and Mweke, we double that. It's reduced crime by 50%. I like talking with facts. So when we get our security reports every day, you see crime has stopped from 1,800 reported every month to 300. By over 600% because of our street lighting period. We've removed all the hawkers from Isili. The business community now is able to thrive. There's 1 million people who do business in Isili every day. So you guys were talking about master plan. It's all implementing of a master plan where we said we're going to create satellite centers around the city. So we've done Upper Hill as financial district. Isili is very bustling. There's 52 malls in Isili that we protect.
But the MCA seems to still have an issue.
That's why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying tribal politics is a very difficult thing, because that MCA, his voters right now must be looking and saying, wait a minute, but we forced you to take us to Kidero's office to say thank you because we've cleaned this. In the same Kamkunji is where you have the Juakalis. You saw the Juakalis the other day came and endorsed our candidature, right? So you're having Juakali community, all around that area where he grew up, they have said Kidero Tosha. You're having the Isili business community, they have said Kidero Tosha. Okay. Now look at Pumwani down the street. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Pumwani neck down the street. Nowadays, there's no mothers who are dying. There's no babies who are being stolen. The place is clean. 100 Kenyans are being born every day in that place. So I'm wondering, when people are looking for a job, because Peter Kenneth is looking for a job, Dr. Kidero and I are already at the job, yeah, and we are doing where he was born. We have made so much change. I'm just wondering where he'll get votes. Okay. Now to finish, because I like working with numbers, just to finish, give me a second. We won the Nairobi gubernatorial seat with 692,000 votes. This time you'll need 1 million votes. This is just Nairobi. Peter Kenneth ran for presidency and got 72,000 votes. So if you could get 72,000 votes in all of the country, how will he get 1 million votes in Nairobi? I rest my case.
Yes, Bwana Yusuf Hassan, were you part of the 6 members of parliament that met Bwana Peter Kenneth on Saturday? As
I was out of the country. I just came in yesterday evening.
Okay.
But I must say that if Peter Kenneth decides to vie for Nairobi, and when he makes that decision, he would be a formidable candidate. He would be a very serious candidate.
Would you prefer him to the other 5 who have already expressed interest?
I think the decision of who is going to be the governor of Nairobi will be decided by the people of Nairobi. And therefore, he brings some particular qualities. And I worked with him in the last parliament. We were together in the last parliament where he was an assistant minister. He comes from Nairobi. He has a very strong links with my constituency. And therefore, it will be interesting to see where he throws his weight, whether it will be Murang'a or here in Nairobi. But I must say that if he decides for Nairobi, it's going to shake up the Jubilee campaign in Nairobi, and certainly would change the political alignment in our capital city for the better.
Thank you so much.
Yes, can I comment 1 point?
Fine. Let's agree this. Gentlemen, 10 seconds. 30 seconds each.
The reason why I'm supporting Peter Kenneth is not necessarily because he's Kikuyu or he's from Murang'a per se. You'd imagine the reason why Kenyans supported this guy called Obama, whereas we are not voting for him, whereas we not probably interrogate his manifesto, was that notion that we call primordial reason, that you feel is like a family member. So it's the same rationale, that when I come from Murang'a and I see another person from Murang'a driving, I should be happy. So please understand that. But notwithstanding that point, when you look at his track record and what he may bring to Nairobi, it's very clear he's miles ahead compared to Kidero. Because Kidero has done nothing. He has not improved infrastructure. He has done zero in terms of healthcare. People are still flocking Kenyatta National Hospital. Notwithstanding, it's a referral hospital. We need to strengthen what we call the primary health facilities all over Nairobi, so that people don't flock to Kenyatta National Hospital. And that has been unable to be achieved by your administration. So I'm looking at tangible and empirical reasons why I'm supporting this guy called Peter Kenneth. And I can tell you, you are going home.
Yes, Bwana.
First, you know, it's very disheartening when you hear my brother DG saying that Peter Kenneth ran for president and he got 72,000.
Fact or not fact?
Very factual. I can tell you for a fact, if Kidero and Mweke were running for president when Raila is on the ballot, they would not even manage 2,000 votes. So using that number to determine whether that candidate will win Nairobi is a misnomer, is a misrepresentation of facts. I can tell you for a fact, if Raila is on the ballot and the deputy is Kalonzo, and Kidero and Mweke ran for president, they would not even manage 3,000. Take that to the bank. But let me say this, because again, representing facts is not a very good thing. Now, you remember when Uhuru ran for president and he lost, when he realized that the Kikuyu community and the country at large had actually coalesced on Kibaki. What did he say? He supported Kibaki's re-election and did not run for president. You remember? That is in 2007. Now, Peter Kenneth has also realized that for now, the outright leader within the Jubilee circles and within the central and national is actually Uhuru Kenyatta. And his supporting of Uhuru's re-election bid would actually springboard him to be the outright kingpin in Central and inherit that vote that supported Uhuru Kenyatta. I think it's a brilliant move, and I just want to urge my brother, because I believe in him, to start doing things differently.
Yes.
You know, if Mweke was the candidate, I would actually vote for him. But I just want to urge him that don't take this for granted.
Yes.
This is a serious, formidable candidate with very strong roots. You know, our brother Kidero, we like him. You know, we are the ones who told him to say he never grew up in Nairobi. He came from Homa Bay County.
30 seconds,
He never came from Nairobi.
He grew up from... He never. We know people who...
There's a different argument here.
Also, it was just a propaganda.
It was a propaganda. We need to wrap up this news with you.
Yeah, Kidero born in Pumwani, grew up in Majengo. Facts are facts, yeah. But anyway, just two things.
Majengo is in Pumwani.
Born in Pumwani Hospital. Wanairungu, we've been with him here, honestly, for many sessions, power breakfast, yeah. And there's been 5 other Jubilee candidates that have whatever, all of them coming with different issues, and you've had them articulate their issues on why they want to run for Nairobi governor. But he never supported any. But somebody from Murang'a comes, now he supports him. I mean, it's not on issues, it's on tribe. And we have to get away from that in Nairobi. Going away from Nairobi politics, there's another thing that we've had here. It's obvious that Peter Kenneth is come down from running from president to governor of Nairobi. He's looking at it as a stepping stone to other things. So he's just looking for a job to get to the presidency. Yeah. What worries me, and we've heard now from Jubilee MP that he's going to be running for DP. We know Jubilee is locked until 2032, which means now Peter Kenneth will be the deputy president. It will be locked for another 20 years, yeah, because Ruto was 10 to 42, then Peter Kenneth another 10 to 52. So you're looking at 1 century, 100 years of a Kikuyu, Kalenjin, Kikuyu, Kalenjin, Kikuyu, Kalenjin. So 2 communities out of 42 are going to rule this country for 100 years. What happens to the other 40 communities? That worries me when I start thinking about this country I love so much.
That's when you start thinking about it in a tribal way. Yes? Finally, Bwana Yusuf Hassan. 30 seconds.
Well, I think the coming of a new entrant into the politics of Nairobi is a welcome thing. And secondly, I think I also want to welcome the fact that Peter Kenneth is